Namaste, Jai Hind, and welcome to this edition of The Right Stand. I'm Anand Narsimhan. Apple reportedly manufactured iPhones worth $14 billion in Bharat in the fiscal year 2024. This is a significant uptick, with Apple now producing approximately 14% of its flagship devices in our country. Reports suggest that about 1 in 7 iPhones are now made in Bharat. A total of 69 Indian universities with 424 entries have made it to the Quacquarelli Simons World University Rankings by subject, marking a 19.4% rise from the previous year's 355 entries achieved by 66 universities. 3 IIMs, JNU are also part of this list. We are the second most represented nation in Asia. According to the latest Global Trade Outlook and Statistics report of the World Trade Organization, Bharat has registered a 17% jump in the export of digitally delivered services to a staggering $257 billion to become the world's fourth largest exporter in the segment. Bharat's Chandrayaan-3 mission team has been awarded the prestigious 2024 John L. Jack Swigert Jr. Award for Space Exploration, acknowledging their efforts to elevate the standards of space exploration. Ladies and gentlemen, let's now set up debate number 1 here on The Right Stand, where Prime Minister Narendra Modi has said that the Congress governments of the past failed to strengthen our borders, but under a very, very strong Modi Sarkar, terrorists have been killed in their own turf. The Ghus ke Marenge underlined.
तब भारत में आतंकवाद ने पैर पसारे, आज भारत में मोदी की मजबूत सरकार है, इसलिए आतंकवादियों को घर में घुसकर मारा जाता है। कांग्रेस के समय में तो जवानों के पास बुलेट प्रूफ जैकेट तक की कमी थी। ये भाजपा है जिसने भारत में बनी बुलेट प्रूफ जैकेट अपने सैनिकों को दी, उनके जीवन की रक्षा की।
While addressing a rally in Rishikesh, Prime Minister Narendra Modi yet again reiterating that for the NDA government under his leadership, nation comes first. Under the leadership of what he referred to as a Mazboot Modi Sarkar, the Prime Minister asserted that the country now boasts of a robust government that ensures national security even in conflict zones. The Prime Minister said that terrorists were being eliminated in their own homes, on their own turf. And then launching a scathing attack against the opposition, especially the Congress party. Prime Minister said enemies of our country took advantage of a weak government in the past. But is there more to read in the Prime Minister's message at 2 levels, ladies and gentlemen? A subtle hint to those who are trying to bait this government on alleged killings on foreign soil, and also an open dare to anybody who dares to look at our nation and think of it as weak. But more importantly, also telling those who are orchestrating perhaps certain misconceptions, an ecosystem, telling them, do what you want, hum ghus ke hi marenge. Let's go straight across to Shaina NC, spokesperson of the BJP, Lokesh Jindal, political analyst who backs the Congress party, and Dr. Anand Ranganathan, political commentator and also author, joining us this evening. Namaste and Jai Hind to everybody. Simple. There comes an article which comes and they say allegedly 20 people have been killed on foreign soil, allegedly, as per Pakistani intelligence officials, allegedly. But the Prime Minister stands there and says, those who are enemies of the state, hum ghus ke marenge. Lokesh Jindal, a scathing attack at the governments of the past too. What was Mazboot about your Sarkars? We were seeing bomb blasts everywhere and there were messages written everywhere. Watch what's under your legs. What's there behind? Any bag there, don't even go near it. It may just explode anytime. And now you have international media writing, see, these people who are supposed to be terrorists, who are supposedly wanted by the Indian government for various activities on Indian soil, are being neutralized on foreign soil.
Well, such attacks carried out by non-state actors It gained prominence in the 1990s, and since then we saw governments forming various security mechanisms to deal with these challenges. And the beginning was made in 1990s during the time period of PV Narasimha Rao's government. In fact, successively, right from NDA having an interregnum, we had the nuclear policy being formulated, followed by 1999 and 2004 till 2014. And this trend to deal with this threat has continued over a period of time. It has evolved. So the Prime Minister claiming that only during his regime he has developed a mechanism, security agencies to deal with these threats, and there was nothing of this sort which was present in those times. I don't know on what basis he says this. Because internal security, the threat to the internal security was always a sensitive issue from outside and from within. The Indian Army, as well as the security agencies, be it paramilitary forces, they have been sacrificing their lives. They have been doing a condemnable job. They are doing something phenomenal and exceptional. And disregarding their sacrifices and not appreciating what has happened before and simply glorifying the present regime is not something which befits the stature of the Prime Minister. What requires is
Sir, the plank that the Prime Minister is firmly underlining is the plank of nationalism and nation first, sir. That's what he's saying. And no matter how much you try to say that Bharat is trying to create a narrative, that Bharat is trying to meddle into the nations or affairs of other nations, Bharat continues to say we will go ahead and continue to neutralize those who threaten us. Officially, the government has said we've got no involvement with any other incident in foreign soil. But unofficially, the messaging is very, very clear.
India carried out various operations. Yes, may I?
Yeah, please complete and then China and see respond.
India has carried out various operations in foreign soils as well. Prior to 2014, there was Operation Meghdoot. There was operations which were carried out with respect to securing India's internal security and security interests. So trying to claim that it is only from 2014 that India has started the policy of Ghus ke Marenge, this is not correct. Even before, our Jawans and our security agencies, they have targeted those organizations, countries which are proving a threat to India's security. So it's not something that is something new or something phenomenal, something revolutionary about this particular government.
China NC, please respond.
So Anand, I think as an Indian, it's a matter of pride that this is a strong government. Prime Minister Modi, when he says "Ghus ke ghar mein marenge," this is not about some kind of a male chauvinistic statement. This is about nationalism. This is about showing that the Bharatiya Janata Party, whether it's a Pulwama or it is any other terror activity, if you look at the kind of terror activities, encounters, stone pelting that took place in Jammu Kashmir post 370, see how drastically the numbers have gone down. You have zero shutdowns post 370. Is this not a big thing to talk about to countrymen who are worried about security and safety? No border infra issues. You have a Prime Minister who has talked about simple things but important things like bulletproof jackets. The pride for every Indian that you have rifles made in India, you have aircrafts made in India, you have all kinds of equipment which earlier were only brought from the West are now procured, manufactured under Make in India. And then he goes on to say that how no terrorist will be spared. And I think salute to Prime Minister Modi for making every Indian feel so secure. The feeling that yes, we are a mazboot, competent, equipped government to take on terrorists head on. And when I say head on, it is not with any apologetic sympathy. He was speaking in Uttarakhand, where so many of our armed forces and young Jawans come from. We know their kind of contribution to the army. This has been highlighted by Prime Minister Modi, spoken about by our Defence Minister Rajnath Singh too. So I'm glad that he talks about a Majboot Sarkar and says we will Ghus ke marenge, khatam karenge Atangwad ko. As an Indian, I feel secure to be under the leadership of a man who champions the cause of nation building, champions the cause of nation being strong and everything else proceeding and not the reverse as one has seen in
but the claim is that since the 90s these kind of operations have happened. Since the 90s, since the 90s,
this is not a weak government and will never be under the leadership of
But
Prime
China
Minister
NC, the response is that this is a false claim. It's not just in the last 10 years, it's happened even before that. Although the governments of the past have not come out and openly said, dekho, humne ghus ke mara, that started from the time of Prime Minister Narendra Modi since 2014 onwards.
Anand, you just look at the statistics on your screen today. Post 370, look at Jammu and Kashmir as a case study and please pull it out and see how many attacks there were in the past, what is the statistic today. How many stone pelting issues there were in the past and how many there are today. How many buns there were and there are 0 today, from 52 down to 0. The terror incidents, this is you, CNN saying it, not the Bharatiya Janata Party, from 228 to 44.
We are not saying
encounters from 189
we are only
to
quoting the
48.
MHA.
This is absolutely, but this is factual. Civilians who have lost lives, you have 55 which are in the public domain, which are down to 13. So please understand that on every accord, and why did I talk about even bulletproof vests, rifles, aircrafts, all kind of equipment that our army needs today is all made in India. What a big achievement is that. There have been no terror attacks, there have been no communal violence,
so you're saying
and the Prime Minister has led from the front. So this is a strong government no matter what you say.
You're making the price of attacking India or fomenting trouble in Bharat so dear for the opposition, for the enemy. Plus you're also saying that internally we have further tried to empower and strengthen our own forces so that they can defend our turf better. Dr. Ranganathan, agree, disagree?
Absolutely.
Good evening, Anand. I agree. Look, the fact remains that because of political expediency or vote bank or appeasement or the fear of being branded Islamophobic, the Congress has traditionally been soft on terror. There are umpteen examples of this. In January 2020, for example, the Bengaluru police arrested 6 SDPI men who, Anand, for a mere 10,000 each, plotted to kill the young BJP MP Tejasvi Surya because of his pro-CA stand. They came to kill him at a rally, but couldn't. So nearly killed an RSS worker instead. SDPI is the other side of the PFI coin, but the Congress never banned the PFI. In spite of documented proof collected by its own government.
Rahul Gandhi is taking support from the PFI. Please add that in Wayanad.
That the PFI was neck deep in acts of terror, bomb making, training camps, political murders, links with Al-Qaeda. The tragedy is that the Indian state sadly buckles when it comes to terrorism. Remember the recent release of the Coimbatore bombers, despite the refusal of the Supreme Court to give them bail? And the release was trumpeted by the DMK government as an example of being concerned about the minority. Can you imagine? And as I said, this softness is truly, especially true for Congress. Does Rahul Gandhi, for example, have the guts to say terrorism has a religion? I challenge him. Kashmir is a living example of this. They might even certify that the slogan shouted on the night of January 1990 from the top of mosque, Ralif Salif Galif, death to Kafirs, Pandit leave your women behind, convert, run or die, Nizam-e Mustafa, has nothing to do with religion. Air Chief Dhanoa is on record saying that the Indian Air Force wanted to bomb terror hideouts in Pakistan in the wake of 26/11 but was forbidden to do so by Manmohan Singh. India rewarding Pakistan for their 2008 attack on our embassy in Kabul by capitulating miserably in the Sharm el-Sheikh declaration. Tens of thousands attending the funerals of terrorist Yaqub Mehman Burhan Wani. The mainstreaming of PFI being awarded by vice presidents. Shiv Kumar doubting the Mangalore terror strike. Congress leaders defending Simi in court. Doubting the Balakot airstrike. Sonia Gandhi crying tears of sorrow after the Batla House encounter. Terrorist Yasin Malik celebrated by India's Prime Minister. Anand, I can go on and on and on. And let us be clear on one thing. Poverty or illiteracy have nothing to do with fundamentalism. Fundamentals have. You can be educated and still blow up the World Trade Center or charge at the Gorakhnath temple shouting Allahu Akbar. Please understand. There is nothing called radicalization. But our politicians, especially the Congress ones, don't have the courage to admit this. On the other hand, the Congress has ample courage to brand Hinduism as a terrorist religion, to hail Aurangzeb who killed 4.6 million Hindus, to coin the phrase saffron terror in just 30 seconds. In an age where Pakistan Zindabad turns into Naseem Sahib and IED turns into gas cylinder, in a way, I am relieved that the recent bomber of Rameshwaram Cafe was caught entering and praying at a mosque after he planted the bomb, because otherwise the Congress might have claimed that he was wearing a Hindu sacred thread kalava, so that our politicians could then have branded the entire act as perpetrated by Hindus or RSS conspiracy. Exactly what they did in the wake of 26/11.
Strong charge there, but I'm going to stay on the facts before we go across to Lokesh Jindal. 2014 to 2022, 79% dip in the terror killings. This is official data that's now we are showing you. 52% dip in terror incidents between 2014 to 2022. 69% uptick in the number of terrorists killed in Jammu and Kashmir between 2014 to 2022. 61% dip in Naxalism related fatalities between 2014 to 2022, and 34% reduction in Naxal affect districts in 2014 to 2022. Now this is compared to the previous period, Lokesh Jindal. Now,
when I'm talking about internal security and the challenges, a lot depends upon the defense expenditure and the outlay which the government promises. Now, despite the country having threat from the China as well as a hostile neighborhood, the modernization budget rose by a meager 6%. Although the government has claimed to do, but it has not done enough. Whatever it has done is inadequate. We do not have enough war vessels with respect to the Navy. We are still dependent upon the strategic missiles. We are still dependent upon foreign countries. Our defense personnel are not adequately employed. The government came out with the Agniveer scheme so as to deal with the deficiency of war personnel that are required. So there is a lot more. I mean, it is less than 2% still the capital, the budget outlay for the defense, which needs to be increased during the Modi regime. But what we have seen, that budget after budget, the defense expenditure was reduced. So if the government claims Ghus ke marenge and these slogan, madam, please allow me to come.
What did the Congress do
let him complete. Shanansi, let him complete. Let him complete. You may agree with him, disagree with him. Let him complete. Yeah.
If the government really aims at modernizing, making the country stronger, well, it has to be more on the budgetary outlay, modernization of defense forces, getting more and more indigenously built arms and ammunitions. And when you're talking about institutions, DRDO was built during the time period of Jawaharlal Nehru. Almost all missile programs, all forms of institutional setup, this was done during the previous regimes. So if there is some form of chest thumping, we are with you, but why simply negate and come out with a false theory that there was nothing in the past and everything that was being done is done in the present?
Now, Shanansi, yes.
Anand, I think there are few big takeaways from the Prime Minister's message today. Number one, that this is not a competition with what the Congress did, but this is what the development is of the Bharatiya Janata Party vis-a-vis terrorism, making our country strong and not being weak, because only in weak countries do terrorists prosper. And the fact that he has made such a strong statement as the Prime Minister of this country gives a sense of security and gives a sense of absolute understanding that nation comes first and nothing else can be compromised. When Prime Minister says that the enemies took advantage of weak governments, what is he saying? He raised questions about China. He raised questions about border infrastructure, which the Congress party never focused on. Then you talk about our Jawans and you talk about our personnel who have joined the army. He has said how in Make in India, whether it's bulletproof vests, rifles, aircrafts, etc., how everything is being procured and produced in India, and that is also a matter of pride. At the same time, he talks about how we as a country are going to ensure that if there is any incident of Naxalism, You look at the statistics that you highlighted on your channel, and these are all available with the Ministry of Home Affairs. And we know that how Naxalism has reduced, how the Maoists are almost defunct, how we have ensured that there is no terror activity of organizations flourishing. Our Home Minister, when he says POK is India's, it gives every Indian a sense of pride to have such strong leaders as Prime Minister Modi and Amit Shah ji, because this is actually the truth.
POK is India's, POK is India's, Shaina and POK is India's is a resolution that's passed in Parliament long back. Even in the 60s this resolution had happened, in the 70s this resolution has happened. So POK is India's has been a claim which is there even in our map since at that time.
Walking the talk.
No, so walking the talk has not happened.
Resolutions and
walking the talk yet has not happened.
370 Post
walking the talk,
370, you take Jammu
walking
and
the
Kashmir
talk
and
yet
just
has not happened. Neither
highlight
have Mirpur,
how
Muzaffarabad
many
been
incidents
started
of
to
terror
highlight
or
it.
pelting
Nor
or
have
even
the languages spoken largely in Pakistan occupied Kashmir currently, or even in the Gilgit-Baltistan region made official languages in the Union Territory of Jammu and Kashmir. So far, those languages have not yet been started. Nor has there been active reporting or coverage beyond just the weather report that has been done of these regions. So yes, there are strong claims that are made, but what's being done to action that we have to see. Leaving 24 seats vacant in the Jammu and Kashmir Assembly in the past, and what's going to happen going forward, we have to wait and watch. So there has to be some walk the talk. But Lokesh Jindal, please tell me one instance that you remember in the past where we have said that other nations in the neighborhood have complained कि आपके लोग हमारे यहाँ आके कुछ कर रहे हैं. All the time our complaints were your people are coming into our country.
Well, you need to
Okay, Lokesh, just Mr. Ranganathan wants to, Dr. Ranganathan wants to make a point, and then I'll come to you. Yes, please.
Thank you. At the outset, let me say Eid Mubarak to everyone, especially to my good friend Lokesh Jindal. The problem with Eid is that I think he had too much sevaiya and there was too much sugar in the sevaiya. It's gone to his head. For him to say that the defense budget has decreased over the last 10 years is preposterous. Anand, here is the data. Can you see the graph? It has zoomed up from 2 lakh crores to 6 lakh crores. What is Lokesh talking about? Lokesh, you cannot lie so blatantly on live television, my friend.
No,
please.
No. Let me tell you, I think you did not have enough sevaiya in the Eid, because if the defense expenditure has gone up, the capital outlay has decreased.
Could you have sugar-free sevaiya next time? Do not have so much sugar in sevaiya, my friend.
No. Your data is incorrect. I am talking about capital outlay. Sir, I am talking about the capital outlay.
Please apologize.
The highest capital outlay that defense ever had was in 2011-12, which was 30%, and it reduced to 2018 and 19, which was 22%. So simply showing certain graphs doesn't prove your point. Tell me, what is the capital outlay for the defense sector? Has it increased or has it decreased?
What was the budget in 2014 and what was the budget this year? Just tell me the numbers.
No. Okay, there are. Okay, please answer.
In 2011 and 12, the defense capital outlay was the highest during the Manmohan Singh regime, which was 30%. And during 2018-19, the capital outlay was the lowest in the entire defense expenditure, which was 22%.
22%.
When you talk about capital outlay, it plays a very important role.
So you're saying capital outlay in terms of percentage. I'm wanting to know actual value, sir. 30% of a budget of what size, and 22% of a budget of what size? Secondly, privatization in defense. Privatization in defense was initiated post the 2014 or post 2019 that it has come. The amount of money that's come from the private sector into defense expenditure, that is something that you have to ask. Government outlays, you may claim, have come down, but has the overall investment into the defense sector and in defense gone up or not? And 22% of what budget? What's the overall size of the budget? And 30% of what's the overall size of the budget? Which defense minister is on record to say we cannot buy planes because we don't have money? Which defense minister is on record to say we cannot buy guns because we don't have money? And in which year, sir? So if when you come out to fact check, sir, don't try and fact check with an agenda, because you will get fact checked yourself. That's what will happen, sir. I have to wind up because we've run out of time. We've run out of time. Thank you very much. We're going to take this forward. It's political season, ladies and gentlemen. So the number of commercials also have gone up here on the show. We're compelled to take a break. But when we come back, it's the Prime Minister's interview to Newsweek that hogs the headlines. The editor Asia of the Newsweek, Danish Manzoor, joins us.